experience of the last 2 years. So I will invite the CEO of Gramsri and the coordinator of the program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vineet. I coordinate the RSRLP program at Timbuktu. So, Gramsri Cooperative was the program was initiated by Timbuktu in 2008. It was supposed to be a program for landless families who are dependent on wage labor as an alternative source of income. And this has been already explained by Kandasamy, so I will go through fast. It was registered formally as a cooperative in 2010 with the initial 270 beneficiaries from 18 villages. And currently we have a membership of 802 in 57 sanghas in 39 villages. And we have a staff of 5, 1 coordinator and 1 field leader for 1 mandal. We are working. So again, this was explained. So initially we had given a loan of 10,440 for purchasing 4 to 6 small room units. The total investment was around 28 lakhs. In 2010, when the cooperative was formed, the leaders of the cooperative felt that people are making enough profits and actually they can give back the support which they received from Timbuktu. So they took a call that they will pay the money into the cooperative as member deposits, so that in future more members can utilize that money. As of today, out of that initial 28 lakh investment, 27 lakhs has been paid back by the members. Actually, out of that 28 lakhs, 23 lakhs was paid in 2013 itself. The few members who were left behind, they have been paying over the last 3 years. So 80% of the amount was collected by 2013. By 2013, that is 2013, the membership had risen to 623. So when we started this, the current phase of the RSRLP project, already people had put back the 23 lakhs and their own thrift savings further. 37 lakhs was almost there. And the collective had raised an additional 65 lakhs as grants from the donors. So in the last 2 years, we have supported 743 members under the new project. The current loan outstanding with these 743 members is over 1 crore. The recovery rates are good. There are no defaulters in the sense that there are not many people who are not paying for say 3 months period, totally without contact. That is hardly 1 or 2 members. The loan size we had increased. Initially we were planning for 15,000. We had raised it to 20,000 because people demanded that the price of goats and sheep have gone up. Now the new thing that we did, this is on a pilot basis, we initiated 5 months back. We initiated an insurance fund for small ruminants. The main reason was that some animals were dying and the private insurance companies and government insurance programs are a bit cumbersome to get the kind of paperwork, and you have to go meet a doctor, do the post-mortem, all that. So we started our own insurance fund on a pilot basis. So whoever we supported after September, we asked them to pay a premium amount of 100 rupees. And if the animal dies, they can claim 1000 rupees per farmer, per animal. So what we found out was that the premium for total 146 members, we had supplied around 800 animals. In that only 26 died and we had paid back. So what we learned is that in future, if you want to scale up this insurance program, we can even provide 2,000 to 2,500 per animal as insurance. And in the future, we plan to increase the loan size further from 20,000 to 50,000, 1 lakh, once people gain experience. Without having experience, if you suddenly give someone that kind of 1 lakh loan with 20 plus 1 animals, chances of that succeeding is less. So this is the growth in membership, already explained. From 270 we are now 800 plus. And this is how the asset base of the cooperative has improved. When it started, it was 1 lakh rupee share capital and everything together. Today we have total 1 crore, more than 1 crore in deposits in the form of the livelihood funds returned, the savings of the members, the profits over the years that has been accumulated. Overall, the current asset base is 1 lakh and we can provide loans to people without taking loans actually from outside, without grants or without external support to our members, to the current existing members. And this is how the net profits have grown. Till 2013-14, we had not given the amount to the support to farmers as loans. It was subsidy, project grant. From 2014-15, we started giving it as loans, and then we started receiving the interest on those loans. And over the years, the profit has grown. But one rider here is that the salaries of the staff, except the accountant, is paid by the project. So if we exclude the salaries, then this will go slightly negative. It will be around 1 lakh negative if we include the salaries of staff. And we are estimating that the cooperative will be sustainable in another 3 years. Currently, the average loan outstanding is 70 lakhs. So the kind of interest income that we receive is only 8 lakhs, while we need around 9 lakhs for the cooperative to run. So once the loan outstanding reaches 1 crore or 1.2 crores, we'll be able to run the cooperative with its own income, which we should be able to do in the next 3 years. Then we also intend to leverage the support from government and associated bodies. As Ravindra Prasad sir said, like, they offered us the support like 2 months back, but we were not in a position to take that. We did not suddenly want to give 1 lakh loan to a member or 50,000 loan to a member, because the kind of repayment you have to have is like 2,000, 3,000 rupees per month. When the income from these activities is like income for a normal agri labor family will be 3,000 per month. You can't expect them to pay that kind of money back. So, and plus we had other reasons, like we can't give only to one group and not to other group. But in future we will obviously want to work with the government. And the main thing that we want to do, create forward linkages, like what Dharani has done do the same for Gram City, get into meat industry, but this, as previously explained, requires a lot of capital, also requires expertise. Like you need people who are capable of handling that. Thank you.
Thank you. ఇంక తర్వాత ఈ మాత్రం ఈరోజు మా గ్రామంలో 6 సంఘాలు 90 మంది సభ్యులు. 90 మంది సభ్యులకి ఈరోజు మా గ్రామంలో కనీసం అంటే 400 చిల్లర ఇండ్లు ఉన్నాయి. అంత 50 ఇండ్లు కూడా ఉంటాయి లేదో లేకుండా ఇండ్లు అంటే చిన్న జీవాలు లేని ఇండ్లు 50 ఉంటాయి లేదు, అందరికీ ఉన్నాయి. మాతో చూసుకొని కొంతమంది చాలా మంది తెచ్చుకున్నారు. అలాగే
So he is saying that before Gram City program started, some people who were relatively better off had small ruminants. But for others, money was a problem. Like getting 50,000 or 20,000 single time for investing in small ruminants is a difficult thing. So Gram City came in and then they provided 10,000 support to 15 members in their village. And then after 1 year, slowly discussion started. So he said that there are 3 locations where discussion usually happens, hotels and 2 other things. So people started discussing this one particular case, Narasimhappa. They told that this guy within 1 year has sold this many animals, he has gained this much profit. So why can't we also do? So 15 of them approached Gram City and said that we also want to form Sangam. So their Sangam was formed, his Sangam was formed. And then they also got support within 5 months. So using that support, he purchased the animals, and currently he has 21 goats. Yeah, that's then he was explaining why sheep versus goat. He was saying that it's easier to manage 25 goats and managing 25 sheep managing 100 sheep are almost equal. Like goats have to be taken around a lot and they individually tend to go to different places, while sheep are more disciplined and can be managed within 1 acre of land.
Sheep don't have much character. Goats have their own character. So they are independent. So keeping a goat herd together is not so easy. That's why they say like people are like sheep, you know.
Mentality is coming from sheep.
Okay, that's a perspective. Okay, and Cherukur, he was saying that in his village now there are 6 Sangams, 90 people, and all of them together own around 400 animals. There are other families who don't own, around 50 families, but even other families have started now investing in this. And now Gram City also has started giving individual support to members who repay the loans, which he says is a good thing. And procurement is often always monitored by the procurement committee, which consists of experienced people in the groups. That's it.
దీంట్లో ఒక చాలా ముఖ్యమైన ప్రశ్న అంటే సంగప్ప, అంతమంది అక్కడ ఈ చిన్న జీవాలు తీసుకుంటే మళ్ళీ మేత
మాకు దండిగా ఉంది. అంటే మాకు ఒక ఏరుంది ఈ గవర్నమెంట్ మంకలు దాదాపు 300 ఎకరాలు చేరు పోగే ఉంది. 340 ఎకరాలు.
ఇప్పుడు 400 ఇండ్లలో 350 ఇండ్లకు చిన్న జీవాలు ఉన్నాయంటే చాలా సంతోషం పడాల్సిందే. కానీ ఏంటంటే ముందు అనంతపురంలో చాలా ఎక్కువైపోయి మొత్తం పొలాలు అదే మెడుతుందండి పడితే ఖాళీ అయిపోతుంది, అట్లా అయిపోతుంది అని చెప్పేసి చాలామంది గవర్నమెంట్ వాళ్ళు కానీ మిగతా వాళ్ళు కానీ ఎక్కువ పండి కూడా చేసినారు. కాబట్టి మీకు ఏమైనా ప్లాన్ ఉందా దాని గురించి, ప్రణాళిక? ఇప్పుడు పెరుగుతా పోతే చుట్టుపక్కలంతా ఖాళీ అయితే వస్తుంది కదా మేకలు అయితే. సరే, ఓకే, అట్లయినా కూడా మీకు ఏమైనా ప్రణాళిక ఉందా? ఇప్పుడు మేత కోసం ప్రణాళిక లేకుంటే ఎండాకాలం చాలా కష్టమవుతుంది కాబట్టి ఓకే ఉంది అని చెప్తున్నారు, సంతోషం.
So the conversation was on the fact that if you are going to be growing so many small ruminants in your village, and every family is going to have the small ruminants, then where are you going to get your fodder from and where the food from? So in their particular village, they are very well endowed with wasteland or non-used land. And they have a stream, they also have certain wastelands which they are using for feed, and they have no shortage of fodder space. They have enough. And the other thing is that from goats now they have come down to sheep, because sheep eat, they don't destroy as much as the goats do. That's what he was saying.
నాకు కూడా 100 మేకలు ఉన్నాయి. నేను ఒక సంవత్సరానికి 1,50,000 నుంచి 2,00,000 రూపాయలు తీసుకుంటున్నా. దీంట్లో అబద్ధం అయితే ఏది లేదు. ముఖ్యంగా అంటే మనకు మెయింటైన్ చేయడం కష్టం మేకల్ని. దానికి అడవి ప్రాంతం ఎక్కువ ఉంటే బాగా మేపడానికి చాలా వీలుగా ఉంటుంది. ఇంకా లేదంటే చాలా కష్టం అన్నమాట. ఇప్పుడు మన అనంతపురం జిల్లాలో చాలా వరకు అడవులు లేవు. దానిలో మేపాలంటే ఖచ్చితంగా చెట్టు పొలం ఉంటే మాత్రమే మనము దానిలో మేపకైతుంది. అట్లయి చాలామంది ఇంట్రెస్ట్ చూపడం లేదు, ఎక్కువ గొర్రెల పైన ఇదవుతున్నారు. ముఖ్యంగా అదే జరుగుతుంది. అందుకోసం ఏదో ఉండే వాళ్ళు మాత్రం కరెక్ట్గా వాళ్ళు ఆదాయం అయితే ఎక్కువ గొర్రెల కంటే కూడా మేకలోనే ఎక్కువ ఆదాయం ఉంది.
He also has goats, and he is able to earn about 100,000 rupees yearly. And but he says the problem is that you can have goats only in places where there are forests or lands that can be used for grazing. Otherwise, it's extremely difficult. So that is the reason why people have been going in for sheep. Otherwise, goat, yes, it's easier. You can earn a lot more money.
But Anantapurlo, we require more number of fodder trees. If we promote fodder trees like avisa in backyards of household, and fodder trees like ragi and other things, and by the side of the roads, then we can promote goat, no problem with that. Avisa in backyard, this one household backyard place is very, very important to promote the small ruminants. Even for ram lambs, for rearing ram lambs, if we provide avisa leaves, it can as equal as concentrate feed, so that we can reduce cost of this one feeding, and can this one grow faster also.